Good evening and welcome to this session of the live coaching classes organized by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It's great to be here again with a lot of you back. And so let me, see who is here. Oh my God. Mr. Ganesh, Alok, welcome sir. Sapnaji, Tejas is here. Abdul again with a huge question. Ganesh, Harshit Jaiswal, Manoj Kumar Thakur, welcome sir. Samir, welcome. Pranev, Ganesh again asking, we'll come back again. I don't know what. Welcome back again. Thank you. Thank you. I was never expecting that I would be handling this session. Suddenly they've asked me to do, so I'm doing it actually and it's a nice topic we are going to talk today. Before that, Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryangarvavahai, Jasminavadhitamastu, Mavidvisavahai, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. With this, let me get into the topic for the day, which is a very exciting, interesting topic, a little complicated, no doubt, but if you apply your mind and just refrain from asking questions till you are understood, it will be great. Just listen. Do not ask questions now. A time will come when I will say, if you have questions, ask me. At that time, you filled all your questions. In the meantime, write your question down in a paper and keep it. Don't put it in the query pad. Kyonki, if you do that, I'll be wasting my time answering your question rather than teaching the subject. So we will reach a point where I'm sure you will have doubts now. You ask, it will be easy for you. Rather than, see, if I go to the third slide and in the third slide itself, Mr. Abdul has a doubt, then I will be wasting my time explaining to Abdul something that will be anyway coming in the sixth slide. So just be patient. That is all. See, he is asking one huge question. So on dividend, which I'm not going to answer today if time is not there. Okay. So that question will not be answered till I am satisfied that charges is completed. This is the topic I have been allotted to take today. So question other than charges will not be answered today. Maybe I will go through it and later I will answer. Yes. Charges. Okay. And the registration of charges. It's a very interesting topic. Maybe because of shuffling of topics, you've studied other topics also. But logically, what happened was you studied share capital and debentures. You studied prospectus. Then you studied share capital and debentures. Then you studied acceptance of deposits by companies, right? So debentures, secured debt. Acceptance of deposits, etc., unsecured debt. Equity, that was capital, preference, equity, differential, etc., etc. So in a way, we are covering the sources of capital. Now, when we came to debt, we should understand that secured debt is covered or is secured by assets. Got it? So if you are saying a debt is secured, you must also tell me what is the security which is offered as a protection for the creditor. In case the loan is not repaid by the company, the secured creditor will have the absolute right to sell that asset, that specific asset, and realize the money, pay himself along with all lawful dues like interest, etc. And if any balance is left, only that will be available to the unsecured creditors. Why I am making this point? This entire topic is going to be on security. The whole concept of registration of charges is going to be on creation of charge and security. So you have to understand the fundamental principle on which it is working, which is, so chapter 6 of the Companies Act, obviously chapter 6 of your Board of Studies material. Also accompanying set of rules which will give you forms, blah, 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 and all. Okay. Now, we have to see what is a charge, which is already defined, but maybe I didn't define it there, knowing that it will be defined here. There is a fundamental duty of the company to register a charge. Why? We'll be seeing that. Then the procedure for registration of a charge. Okay. Then when is the notice of charge applying? In case finally the loan is repaid, when the loan is repaid or settled or adjusted, then it is called satisfaction. So how to record that? So on and so forth. Finally, in case you do not violate, you do not comply, then what is the punishment, penalty, etc., etc. Now, please concentrate. If you understand this, then you will not have any further doubts. If you do not understand this, then based on this, you will ask doubts. What is a charge? Charge is an interest or lien. So immediately you ask me, what is a lien? In case you have not been taught Contract Act, maybe if you have done in Contract Act, if you have done bailment and pledge, you will know what is a lien. Lien, or if, in fact, in those days when you studied Sale of Goods Act, you might have heard of lien. Okay, I'm sure already my friend Aslam, if he's here, is going to put something there about lien and all that. No. So, lien means a right. Lien is a right to take possession. Interest means almost like an owner. An owner is having absolute interest. A secured creditor has partial or partial interest. Okay. An absolute owner can do anything with that property at any time because he is the owner. But a mortgage holder or a charge holder or a lender who is having security on that asset cannot do anything. But in case the borrower does not repay, then the mortgagee, the chargee, the lender gets the right to sell the property. This is called interest. So a charge is an interest or right to take possession and sell. Charge is an interest or lien. Got it? It is a right which is available to a secured creditor to take possession of a property which is charged or which is offered as security and sell it. Realize the proceeds, take the money received, pay himself. If any surplus is there, he has to give it back. Obviously to the liquidator or whoever is handling the whole matter. Usually what will happen, the liquidator himself will do it on behalf of the secured creditor, pay them their dues and take the balance and use it for distribution. All this will be relevant only in winding up. That way this is closely linked to winding up. Later on, we'll actually talk a little bit about liquidator in a later slide. So, charge is a right or interest or lien to take possession and sell property. Property is a wide term. Property means not only immovable property like land and building. Property is wide enough to include shares, debentures, securities, right? Land, building, machinery, vehicles, movable goods, gold, precious gems, stock in trade. Everything is property. Debtor is a property. Anything that you own is a property, right? So, a charge is created, including intellectual property rights, property, intellectual property rights. Are you able to understand? Tangible property, intangible property. So, these are all property. So, property is a big term. So, a charge is created on the property or assets of a company or of any of its undertakings or both. Now, the word undertaking is again defined in the Act, but for your quick understanding, suppose the company has a cement factory. A cement company has 4 cement factories. Each cement factory is an undertaking. Meaning what? The complete factory, land, building, machinery, blah, 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 everything put together, which is engaged in manufacturing cements, is called undertaking. So instead of creating a charge on a specific asset, you can create a charge on the entire undertaking. You can say complete cement plant at so and so place is offered as a security. Land, building, blah, blah. So property or assets of a company or any of its undertakings or both, right? It is created as security for repayment of a loan. I'm breaking up the definition in this section. This is not what you will see in your material. I am breaking it up into understandable parts. The Act is a little confusing. Therefore, I am breaking it into simple sentences for you to understand. Okay. So if you do not find this in the material, do not worry. I am simplifying it for you. It is created as security for repayment of a loan. Finally, they say charge includes mortgage. Now, to understand this, you definitely need to understand another law called Transfer of Property Act, which you are not aware of, which you need not be aware. But why I am bringing it here? Because there in that act, they have defined charge. And there, charge is different from mortgage. When a property is offered as security by act of parties or operation of law, it is a charge. Whereas mortgage is different, right? So there, under the Transfer of Property Act, the word charge does not include mortgage. Now, so if somebody very intelligently tells, hey, Transfer of Property Act charge does not include mortgage, so here also not there. So they want to clarify, they want to give clarity. Therefore, for clarity purpose, they are telling, hey, the word charge includes a mortgage also for the purpose of the Companies Act. Okay, for the purpose of the Companies Act. Yeah. For the purpose of the Companies Act, 2013, charge includes mortgage. Okay. So, because it is separately defined in the Transfer of Property Act, here it says charge includes mortgage. Unless you link it to Transfer of Property Act, you can never understand this one line in the definition. Why should charge include mortgage? You might be asking 100 times. The answer is this. In the Transfer of Property Act, it is separate. Alag alag hai. Whereas under the Companies Act, the word charge is wide enough to include a mortgage also. Mortgage means where immovable property is offered as security, it is called mortgage. Where immovable property is offered as security for repayment of a loan, it is called mortgage. So that is only one aspect of charge. Everything is included. Wide term in hypothecation included, mortgage included, pledge pledge alone you will find it is not included here. They have specifically include pledge, but every other type of activity is included. Okay. Okay, sir. Finally, in simple terms, Priyanka says lien is the right to take possession of the goods. Thank you, madam, for clarifying that. Thank you very much. In simple terms, where any asset of the company is given as security for a loan, whether by way of mortgage or otherwise, a charge is said to be created. Where any asset of the company is given as security, right? So if you are a company and you are offering a security, offering an asset as a security for a loan, then you are creating a charge. Whether it is a mortgage or otherwise, a charge is said to be created. If you have understood this, from now on, it's going to be easy. Because the word charge should be understood clearly, then you will understand. Okay. See, when you are auditing a company's balance sheet, you should look at secured loans. When you see an amount of secured loans, you should ask for the details. Then you should ask what are the assets on which this security has been created. Then go to the asset side. See whether that asset belongs to the company. See whether the mortgage has been created or see whether the documentation is completed. Then you have to go to the ROC website and verify whether the charge has been registered. See, this is the link with auditing. When you are auditing a secured loan, this is a very important verification that you will do in auditing. Try to link it like that, you will understand better. If somebody is auditing a company and they see secured loan, the second question they should ask is, hey, this is a secured loan, right? Charge have you created? On which asset? Oh, okay. Show me. What type of charge? Show me that document. Whether it is properly registered under the Registration Act? Yes. Have you created a charge? Please understand. Because non-creating a charge creates a huge problem for the secured creditor. You'll have to check that out. Now, there are two types of charges. Most popular are fixed charge. That is, listen to me. Don't think of any questions to ask now. Just listen to me. Why I'm saying don't ask question. No, some of you have this habit of asking question before I give an answer. I will give you enough time to ask question. If you don't understand anything, just write down. Just write down. But don't ask now. That's all I'm telling. There will be a point in time when I will ask you. Any questions come. At that time, you ask all your questions. There are two types of charges. When a charge is created on a specific asset, for example, a specific building at a specific address, specific land with specific survey number, specific machinery at a specific location, so all fixed charge. Whereas, or a specific motor car, fixed charge. So it means the asset is known, identifiable, specific. Okay. Whereas, where the asset cannot be identified, it is part of a class of assets. For example, where the entire stock in trade in my godown is charged. At any point in time, exactly which item of stock is available, nobody can tell. Because I'll be selling, buying. In the normal course of my business, I will be that the unique items will be changing. But the creditor has the right to sell that class of asset on any day when he wants to recover his money. He can come to a godown, seal it. Whatever stock is there on that day, he will have a right to sell. Such a charge is called floating charge. More about it later. Okay, rather now. So I've already told you, a fixed charge is a charge on specific assets of the borrowing company. Specific means identifiable, clearly identifiable, known, okay, assets which are documented. I can tell you which one they are. These assets are identified at the time of creation of charge. Mortgage is a classic example. When I'm creating a mortgage, specifically I will tell which land, which survey number, building, etc., etc. When a charge is created on such assets, the charge remains fixed, and the borrowing company is not permitted to sell such assets, though it may use them. It can use those assets, obviously. See, simple example, company is having factory, land, building, etc. offered as a security. The company has to earn money now. For that, they have to use the factory, right? So they are allowed to use, but they cannot sell. You know one more thing, no intelligent person will buy. Kyonki, you think about it. That is why we are having creation of charge and registration. The information will be available to the registrar that these assets are not free. They are offered as security for so-and-so loan to so-and-so lender. Such information will be available with the registrar. That is all. That is the purpose of this whole chapter. Once you understand that, this is nothing. Okay. It is meant to, and out of our two pillars, the Companies Act is meant to protect the investor or protect the creditor. Here, this chapter is meant to protect the creditor. But not all creditor. Creditor who is smart and intelligent only will be protected. Lazy fellows will not be protected. We'll see that when we come to the provisions, procedural part. So, when a charge is created, charge mentions. Assets under fixed charge can be sold only with the prior permission of this consent of the charge holder. Yes, sometimes they might give NOC and say, go ahead and sell. For example, I'll give a simple example, but do not confuse. You are not a company. You are an individual. Example key, I'm giving this. So don't immediately say, you are having a housing loan, let us say. In that housing loan is a charge. A charge is created. It's called deposit of title deeds. It is one type of a charge. It's called equitable mortgage, which is created on, means you don't register the entire loan amount as a mortgage. You register only the fact that the title deeds to the property have been given to the bank. That's all you do. That is called Memorandum of Deposit of Title Deeds, which is registered with the registrar. In Tamil Nadu, it's a registrable transaction, and it's a very great benefit for us because 25,000 rupees you pay, you get it registered, and thereafter the lender's name will be included in the encumbrance certificate. So whenever anybody wants to buy that property, if he is halfway intelligent, or if he has an intelligent advocate or an auditor, he will be advised to go to the sub-registrar office having jurisdiction on that land and take a encumbrance certificate from the local revenue authorities. They will give for payment of 100 rupees, 200 rupees, online you can get it. Clearly that encumbrance certificate will contain the name of the owner, then subsequent owner. Any mortgage means it will come. The lender's name will be there. So this is one protection, but it's applicable only for mortgage. Such a protection is not there for hypothecation of movable goods. Such a protection, of course, it is there in terms of RC book mein hai na. The lien will be there on the RC book and all. But still, in addition to that, they want to be sure that coming back to the point, when you are closing your housing loan or maybe you are transferring it to another bank, what your current lending bank will do, they'll give an NOC to the other bank. And that bank will take it to the sub-registrar and give it. Then the sub-registrar will change the name of the lender alone. And the document will be handed over directly to the bank, not to you. That's it. If it's given back to the borrower may run away with that. So the new lender will get it. And the new lender will pay a DD to the old lender based on the letter of it. In the NOC, they will say, if you pay so much amount, we have no objection to your taking the asset as charge. So that amount will be paid to him and this fellow will take it. Transfer of MOD will happen, all that. In case you are changing your lender. All this is, and why I'm giving these ideas and all, to understand the practical flavor of this topic. Once you get into the practical flavor, the theoretical part is always there. The boring theoretical part, you can understand it better if you understand the practical part. Okay. So a fixed charge is vacated. That means cleared. That means khatam ho gaya. When the money borrowed against the asset subject to fixed charge is repaid in full. You throw the money at the donkey's face. He will have to give back your document, cancel the MOD, give it back to you. Charge is vacated. This is what fixed charge. Floating charge is created on assets which are fluctuating or changing nature. Like example, raw material, stock in trade, all the finished goods, work in process, debtors. These are all examples of assets that change in the ordinary course of business. Nevertheless, for the purpose of funding business, we need to take working capital loan. So we may take a loan on these type of assets. Unlike fixed charge, the assets offered as security by the company can be dealt with by the company in the ordinary course of business. Means, suppose a dealer of white goods like washing machine, etc., or consumer goods, etc., has got a charge on all the stock in his showroom and godown. Now you are going to buy a television from that guy. You buy your television. There is a charge on that, but it's a floating charge, not a fixed charge on that specific television set. It is a floating charge on all the stock in the godown and showroom at any point in time. But the right of the company to give good title to the buyer is free. So when they give the television to you, charge GST and give the bill to you, television becomes yours free of charge. If you come out of the place, take it home, it's free. Think about it. But suppose the company is becoming company is not able to pay its debt. So winding up is commencing. So somebody has filed for winding up, or the creditor wants to enforce the security. He says, enough is enough. I want to sell all your goods, man. He will come and immediately he will put a seal on the godown and the showroom. Then whatever is available on that day, on that there will be a fixed charge. When the creditor enforces the security or the company goes into liquidation, that means when winding up starts, the floating charge will become a fixed charge. When on the day the creditor enforces the security or company goes into liquidation on the date. So very important. That's why when you come to winding up, there's a very important date. Date of commencement of winding up. It's a very important date. You will learn it when you come to final. Date of commencement of winding up. From that date, that floating charge will become a fixed charge on all the assets available on that date and which may come into existence thereafter. So any new assets which are purchased and delivered, everything together will become. But ideally, the creditor would be intelligent enough to do what? Lock the godown and take the key. Otherwise, the fellow will take everything and run away. When a floating charge becomes a fixed charge, it is called crystallization of a floating charge. Okay. So this is what this is about floating charges and fixed charges. Otherwise, with respect to registration of charge, etc., procedural point, there is no difference between floating and fixed. Only conceptually there is a difference between the two. You see, I told you not to ask questions, but this question can be answered at this stage. Charge created on current investment. Boss, you have to really answer me one question. Are you a dealer or trader in investments, securities? Do you buy and sell them regularly? Then, if your bank is giving you money for trading, then it's a floating charge on the investments on the day. But if no such understanding is there, then it is a fixed charge on those investments on which you are creating the security. Suppose you are offering shares in Reliance Industries, that's a fixed charge. Okay. So unless you give me that detail, I cannot blindly say current investment fixed charge, fair floating charge. Like that foolishly, I will not answer your question. Rather, I will ask you only one thing. Are you a dealer? See, you understand the principle, you will not even ask this question. You will answer it yourself. Are you a dealer in stock? Is the bank funding that stock as a dealer in securities? Then it's a fixed floating charge. If, for example, I want some money, but merely because current investment, it will not become floating charge. If that is how you are confused yourself, take that confusion out. Merely by putting the word current, nothing is going to happen. What are you doing with that asset? Are you buying and selling? And is the bank funding that class, or is the bank funding especially some specified security which is documented and taken by the bank? And see, in those cases, what will happen? in respect of those securities, in the DP account, the pledge will be marked. Pledge will be marked, in which case it becomes a fixed charge on those securities. Okay. Sometimes I encourage students to think on their own, even at the cost of irritating them. I make them think on their own. There's the only way to help you. See, because CA exam is very tough, ma. Okay, you have to think on your own. I'm teaching you how to think on your own. Okay, asking questions, asan hai na. Anybody can ask question and go. Answering questions very difficult. No, you have to learn that. I'm not discouraging people from asking questions. I'm only asking you, think a little. You will suddenly find that you are able to understand the topic in depth. I'm helping you. Today, I'm going to give you all the answers you want. But you can also think. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't mistake me. I know you're all intermediate students. That's why I'm going very slow on this topic, because many knowledge cannot be presumed for you. For example, many of you may not have heard of Transfer of Property Act. No, also you don't have to bother. Okay. All you need to know is in Transfer of Property Act, charge is separate, mortgage is separate sections. Under the Companies Act, charge includes a mortgage. Now, Section 77 says every company creating a charge shall register the same with the Registrar of Companies. This is the compulsory part. Statutorily, every company creating a charge should register the charge. This doesn't matter whether the asset on which the charge is created is situated in India or not. Whether it is situated in India or whether it is situated outside India, if it belongs to the company, it has to be registered. It may be movable or immovable. It may be tangible or otherwise. Which is why I said intangibles also you can create. Boss, our friend, the great, what is his name, Malia, he actually borrowed from State Bank of India on the Kingfisher brand. And State Bank of India gave. Okay, rightly or wrongly, they gave against the brand, by valuing the brand. They said, this brand is valuable. And they did something to value it. There are so many methods of valuing. I'm sure they would have used an acceptable method to their auditors, and then they lent money to the Malaya. So I'm saying, whether that was the reason for his cheating or not, but Kingfisher brand is still valuable. If State Bank of India wants to encash it, they can. Okay. What is the consequence of non-registration? Before that, why registration? Have you ever thought about it? This is a fundamental question you have to ask. Why registration? Why at all registration? Means, what will happen if the charge is not registered under the Companies Act? See, only on certain assets, there is a statutory registration of the loan security being offered. And all. Like example is mortgage, hypothecation of motor vehicles. These are all examples where when a charge is created on an asset, there is a statutory body like the sub-registrar or the motor vehicles, the traffic, what is that, licensing, motor vehicle license authority, who issue the RC book now. Their RTO, the Regional Transport Office, there they are monitoring these assets. So for that purpose, they want to know who is the owner and whether that asset is being offered as a security, they mark it. So when that loan is cleared, that hypothecation has to be cleared. So, but for these rare examples, there are not many cases where there is a public registration of all. For an individual or a firm, it doesn't matter whether that registration is done or not. Why? Because when a lender lends money to an individual or a firm, he need not bother about the balance sheet. Why? Because if any assets are there which are not disclosed in the balance sheet belonging to the individual, they are also available as security or available for sale. Why? Because it is an unsecured loan. Because it is unlimited liability. Individual has unlimited liability. Partner of a firm has unlimited liability. Therefore, there should be registration of, there is no need for registration of all this. In case the creditor catches you, if he finds other assets are there, he can simply sell it and take the money and go. He can attach it and go. Okay, whereas for a company, it's a totally different story. There cannot be any asset belonging to a company which is outside of the balance sheet. What the creditor sees in the balance sheet is the security available to him. Therefore, he has the right to know whether these assets are free or whether there is a loan on them. How to give him that information? So the registrar of companies has created what is known as the register of charges. So each company will have a register of charges. They will maintain one copy. Similar register will be available with the ROC also, the registrar of companies also, because they are registered now. So in that register, they will update it so that any creditor who wants to lend money against the security of an asset can go to the registrar's office, or why go to the registrar's office? Go online and check what are the charges which are available. You can't do that now. Immediately don't go to MCA website and try to do that. No. You have to have your own password, ID and all, and you have to pay money. Then you go to the document inspection section where you can go and inspect the registrar. As part of normal inspection, you can inspect the register of charges also. You can even take copies so that becomes, or better still, you as a chartered accountant, you and I don't have to do it. You got a fellow called company secretary. Give him the company's balance sheet and tell him, please go to the registrar of companies, do an inspection and give me a report. He will give a clear inspection report. He will say, I saw so-and-so asset charge created, so-and-so bank, amount so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Everything he'll point out. Okay, so that if you are the lender, what you will do? Intelligently, you should employ either a chartered accountant or a company secretary to do an inspection and give you a report, charge inspection report, for which, in fact, many company secretaries charge by the document, per document 500, per document 600, 1,000 like that. And they inspect and they give a bill. Banks also have finally that amount also has to be paid by the borrower only. And it will be given to him and the company secretary will certify and give it. Based on that, they will know whether this asset is having a charge or not having a charge. So in a way, we are trying to enforce doctrine of constructive notice. You are the lender. You are the lender. You want to lend money to A Limited. Whose duty is it to go and verify the register of charges? Aapka hai na? Why? Because you are the lender, yeah. Caveat lender, na. You have to go and inspect. Without inspecting, if you are lending, and before you, already a charge has been created in favor of another person, he will be getting the money before you. It's a very serious penalty. That is why I said we are protecting the creditor, but only intelligent and fast creditor can get protection. So before lending money, he should inspect. If he sees there is no charge, then he can register, and you should ensure that his charge is registered. Because what is the consequence of non-registration? Sorry. In case the charge is not registered, the security will be lost. Please understand. Let us say that a bank has lent 2 crores against the property, land and building. Then, if the charge is not registered in accordance with this act, that security is gone. Later on, if the company does not pay, the bank cannot enforce that liquid security. The liquidator will simply say, hello, Baba, you are not a secure creditor for this land. Where is the charge? Show me. And that portion will become unsecured. It's a very dire consequence. That is why you will be seeing later on that some. Now, let us get into the procedure for registration of charge. You have to file the following. The particulars of the charge should be filed in form number CHG1 for other than debentures. Form number CHG9 for debentures, where you are issuing debentures as a security. Then you will file form number CHG9. Whereas other than debentures, any other assets you are creating a charge, the standard format is CHD1. CHG, short form for charge, right? More importantly, a copy of the instrument, if any, creating the charge, if any, because in some cases, the instrument may not be there, but still you have to give a copy of the instrument, if any, creating charge. So, for example, for a pledge, there may not be an instrument creating charge, right? So you can simply inform in that form what is happening. In a case of a immovable property mortgage, there could be instrument. Mortgage deed would be there. That could be registered. That has to be given. the instrument creating charge shall be verified by under the seal of the company or any director or company secretary on behalf of the company. Means either you have to affix the corporate seal, or if there is no corporate seal, any director or company secretary on behalf of the company, and in case of a charge holder, a person authorized by the charge holder. Usually the branch manager will be the authorized officer of the bank charge holder. So both the company and the charge holder will sign, and then the form is filed along with the instrument and documents, it will be filed. In the case of charge relating solely to foreign property, any person other than the company interested in the charge may verify. It means for the other person, charge holder, any person can sign other than the company. Other than the company, any person can sign. Now, we are talking about modification of charge and acquiring property subject to charge. I'll be going into provisions relating to registration of charge a little later. Why? Because the same date limits will apply for modification also and acquiring property subject to charge. So that will be dealt with together. So 77 makes it the duty of the company to register. 79 talks about modification of charge and acquiring property subject to charge. Now, what I'm going to do is, at this stage I'm opening up. Now I'm opening up the questions. You can ask questions now. Now you can ask questions. I'm ready for questions. You can ask, I will answer. So thank you, Mr. Sunil Kumar, for confirming that you have got the answer. It becomes a public. It's absolutely correct, Mr. Patsardi. Once a charge is registered and accepted by the ROC and registered, it becomes a public document. And also the doctrine of constructive notice, and it applies to that charge. So that anybody who is interested in dealing with this company is deemed to have seen that document. Yes, it's a good point. Thank you. Companies will start buying many properties by showing same property. One of the reasons to register. Absolutely correct. You are making a valid point there. So buying many properties by showing same property. One of the, I don't know what you are trying to say here, Ms. Sri Sai Sujana, but if you are trying to say that they may borrow against the same property more and more times, you are right. That is against the same property many times, you are right. Okay. What about Benami? Sir, company cannot hold Benami property. All assets belonging to a company should be held only in the company's name. If it is not held in the company's name, the directors will be arrested. So, Benami property, ask the directors to prepare themselves to go to jail. That's all. Why? Because the money doesn't belong to you, the company. It belongs to the shareholders. So, the entire money should be invested in assets shown in the balance sheet. Company cannot have any Benami property and all. Individuals may have Benamis, etc. Company cannot have Benami property. Okay. Are you clear, Mr. Abdul? Okay. At least you put your usual okay. So, yeah, thank you, Mr. Dhyanesh, for giving me the clarity that you are clear and all that. See, I'll tell you one curious story which happened. We were auditors for a very, very big public sector bank. I cannot name what that is, but it's a big public sector bank. That public sector bank acquired a bank. It acquired a bank. I don't want to tell which bank, etc. When that acquisition happened, we were asked to do audit of the branches, due diligence audit. Before the acquisition, we were all employed. Many auditors like me, our firm were employed to conduct due diligence audit of the branches of the other bank, which was to be acquired. And we were to give a report saying that everything is fine, you can acquire like that. So we took a lot of care. One branch when they were auditing, I saw there was a document, there was a case, it was an NPA case. So I had no risk there. Already it had been classified as substandard, doubtful. It had been classified as doubtful. But it was not classified as loss. There's a slight difference. Doubtful and loss. Okay. I'll tell you the story. This bank had lent 25 lakhs against that property in those days. 25 lakhs. Right. They were having one document which purported to be the, title deed document. At that time, there was no registration of MOD. In those days, we had not had an enlightened chief minister like Srimati Selvi Jayalalitha. So there was no registration of mortgage of MOD. So all that the fellow had done is, he has bought this document, given it to the bank manager, who has signed acknowledgement, there will be one document which says, I have received this on such and such a day. I have come here to deposit it as security. Like that he has told, signed it and gone. And they keep the document safely. Right, sir? 3 years later, the loan becomes NPA. They try to collect, they are unable to collect. So they want to enforce the security. They go to the bank. They go to the sub-register. There they find the document that they are having is a color Xerox bogus. It's a color Xerox bogus. They go to CBI and report it. Then CBI makes an inquiry and CBI finds similarly this fellow has borrowed from 5 banks. Property worth 25 lakhs, means maximum 30 lakhs. Fellow has borrowed from 5 banks, 1 crore 25 lakhs against a property worth 25 lakhs. To all the banks, he has given the document which is purported being the original document. Right? This is possible for individuals. You try that stunt with companies, it's not going to happen. Even individuals today, that stunt cannot happen in my state of Tamil Nadu because MOD has to be registered. So that the second fellow will know that already there is an MOD against that property. At that time, there was, in fact, during the audit, we all used to cry. We used to tell the bank, sir, for your own safety, you register a small portion like that. They will say it's costly like that. So this bank got into trouble. And so they had 25 lakhs NPA plus interest all together 50 lakhs gone. But they are not willing to write loss. When CBI came to them, CBI asked all the banks, hey, this fellow has defrauded you. It's a criminal case. We will file the case. You give me FIR. You give me complaint. Only then I can go for FIR. You give me complaint. No bank is giving complaint because all the banks are telling, all the 5 banks are telling, I don't know about the other bank. They are possibly cheated by the fellow. My document is the original document. 5 people are telling, my document is the original document. In the meantime, this fellow has gone to Singapore, not coming back. Okay, this just I'm telling this not for any. If you catch me by the collar and say, sir, how is this connected with my subject, sir, like that, I cannot tell. But how is it connected to you as a chartered accountant in future? You decide. You be very, very careful while verifying documents and all that. Even if you are not in practice, boss, as a senior finance officer in any company, they are going to entrust this work to you. Yeah, you should be careful now with what you are doing. That is why I'm giving this example to you. Okay, all the banks are telling I got the original. No bank is telling that he cheated me. So criminal proceedings dropped. Now only civil proceedings. All have filed suit against him. Suits are pending, going on and on. This fellow is in Singapore, enjoying. Extradition, all how to do. Let us see. Okay, so this is the story. In a simple way, I have told you. Yeah. See, foreign property, the bank, who is lending it may not be able to sign. Right? So, any person who is, like, say, an advocate or somebody who has some authority can sign. But that company itself, which is creating the charge, cannot sign. Okay, any person can sign. Okay. Now, the company which is creating the charge is the charge creator. The lender who is taking the asset as a security, as a charge, he is called the charge holder. The bank is the charge holder. The company is the charge creator. Okay. The company is the charge creator. The lender is the charge holder. So, in the case of, let us say, Indian Bank is the lender. Then, on behalf of Indian Bank, the charge holder, an authorized officer of the charge holder, means the branch manager, will sign. Who is the charge holder and makes the charge? Crystallization concept, it can be said as this when a company winds up and they have a floating charge. Can you explain the second criteria? Sir, floating charge will become, the two situations are, one is liquidation. The other is when the creditor wants to collect the money, he will go to sell it now. At that time, whatever assets are there, it will become a fixed charge on those assets. Means he will serve a legal notice on the company, on that borrower. And after serving the legal notice, his lawyer, he'll get an attachment order from the bank. Once he gets the attachment order, immediately he'll go and seal the factory, and whatever assets are on that day will become the, okay. Yeah. Yes, see, there are many such examples. I thought in the context of charge, this may be relevant to you. Though, for the sake of clarity, so that others will not get confused, this is connected with an individual creating mortgage, not a company. If it is a company which has done this, they could not have done it. Why? Because first time the fellow comes and takes money from one bank. Now, second time when he goes, the new bank will obviously go to the registrars. If the charge is not registered, that is the problem. You understand? That is why you have to be very careful about registration of charge. Okay? If the charge is registered, no problem. Then the bank will know. If it is not registered, problem. Let us see. But very stiff penalty for non-registration. Suppose you are the CFO of a company and you have not registered the charge, then 7:30. நீ கிளம்புறியா? சரி, நான் பார்த்துட்டு phone பண்றேன். So the Madan, sorry. Madan, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Time ரொம்ப கம்மிமா, phone எடுத்துரு நீ. நான் பண்ணேன்னா நீ phone எடுக்கணும். Sorry, that was I was talking to my manager there who's leaving the office. I need to talk to him during the break, so that's why I'm telling him. Good show. So now that you have understood what is a charge and the purpose of registration of a charge, etc., we are moving to we are going to see modification of charge and acquiring property subject to charge. Okay, when freshly an asset is offered as a security and a loan is taken, that is a charge to be registered. A. B. Suppose already a loan has been taken, asset has been offered as security. The terms and conditions are changed. That is called modification. Modification of charge when there is change in the terms and conditions. Any terms and condition. It could be a change in the duration, or it could change in the amount itself, could be additional amount is lent, right? Repayment schedule is restructured, interest rate is reduced, increased, whatever. Then any variation in the terms and condition is to be registered. Okay. Variation by way of change in interest rate or variation in extent or operation of any change. Extent or operation means, as I told you, suppose already lent amount is 1 crore. Then if it is increased, then 2 crores. Then that's an, see, 1 crore to 2 crore. The difference is 1 crore. That needs to be registered. That the change alone needs to be registered. Similarly, the duration was 7 years. Now we are making it 9 years. Extent or operation. It will be, that's to be registered. This is called modification. See, I'll tell you one thing. If I am explaining modification in simple way, but if you get into modification alone in the AC's Institute, now that is one full chapter, only modification of charge. There are so many types of modification. And there are so many types of modification, and there are so many types of issues relating to that. One basic issue is, when there's an increase in the amount of loan, the modification registration should be only for the difference amount, not for the entire amount, full. Otherwise, you know what will happen? The computer will take it as, see, already you borrowed 1 crore. Now that's gone, increased to 2 crore. Now you are registering modification 2 crore. The computer will add up 2 crore and say total borrowing 3 crore like that, which is stupid. But that's how it will do. Therefore, you have to be careful because the computer thinks whatever you are filing as modification is the additional amount borrowed. Okay, like that. So, company acquiring any property subject to charge, meaning you are buying, the company is buying a property. Already loan is there. The seller is telling, boss, you take the loan also. Chalo. Or maybe we are acquiring a company. When I am acquiring the entire undertaking, the loan also I am acquiring. And the bank is willing to accept that. Change in ownership of the company is accepted to the bank. So I'm acquiring the undertaking and bringing it into my balance sheet. Means I'm not acquiring the company. I'm not becoming a wholly owned, I'm not becoming a holding company there or something. I am only acquiring that undertaking, meaning the assets of that business along everything. Those assets are subject to charge. Then first I should ensure that the earlier charge is vacated. That old charge should be vacated. And a new charge should be registered by the acquiring company in its name. Meaning that old charge should be closed and a new charge should be registered in the name of the acquiring company. So that next time when they are searching the creditor, he will know that the borrower is this company and not that company or that owner. Okay. So these are the provisions for modification and acquiring a company a property subject to charge. Some examples of modification of charge. This is a huge topic. In fact, I would humbly submit to you, do not waste too much time mugging up this. Just understand the principles involved, it will be good enough. Don't waste your time, break your head on this. Rather use the time to remember the durations, the deadlines, what happens if it is extended. That you spend more time because questions will be asked there. Delay in filing of charge, etc. That is where there will be a question. If there are about 15 examples, if you try to mug up all the 15, you may be wasting your time. It's up to you to do that. Okay. If you generally understand it, it is more than enough. Where the charge is modified by varying any terms and conditions of the existing charge through an agreement. Any terms and conditions. Where the modification is in pursuance of an agreement for enhancing or decreasing the limits. Meaning, limit is increased or decreased. Please note it. I am taking an OD. OD limit is 1 crore. Now I am going for enhancing the limit. Means the borrowing can go up to 2 crore. Actual borrowing may not be so, but the amount can be up to 2 crore. This is called enhancing. Or I may decrease the limit. From 1 crore, it comes to 50 lakhs. This is called modification. It has to be registered. Where the modification is by ceding a pari passu charge. I have already taught you in debentures what is a pari passu debenture. Meaning, when there is a single property and there are two lenders, the first lender will have first charge and the second lender in time will have a second charge. There is a single property. Bank A is giving the money first. Property is worth much more than the loan. They are giving amount, then charge registered. So that fellow becomes the first charge holder. Now another bank also you are going, they are also willing to lend against the same property because further value is there. So they are giving. First of all, you have to get NOC from the first charge holder you have obtained. The second bank is telling, boss, I want pari passu charge. That means what? In case the asset is not enough to pay both of us, then both of us should get proportionately pari passu in equal step, in proportion. Then you have to go back to the first bank and get his permission by which he has to concede, I will give you a pari passu charge. Or, in a way, he is losing his, similarly, he may be having a pari passu charge, right to have proportionate. He might cede it, he might surrender it and say, I will go for second charge, you take the first charge. Whatever it is, there is a modification in the terms and conditions. Where there is a change in rate of interest. Please understand, two things are there. One is, for this you can easily understand. Fixed rate, floating rate. Floating rate may no need to register because the terms itself is floating rate. So when the bank rate keeps going up and down, automatically it will change, no need. But suppose it's a fixed rate. You have negotiated one rate. Now you are going back and renegotiating a better rate. The rate is now less or more maybe. Then that is a change in interest rate. I think I'm being very clear here. Where there is a change in repayment schedule of loan. It's very simple now. The repayment schedule is up to 7 years. Now you are making it 5 years or 9 years. This will not be applicable to working capital loans, which are repayable on demand. Working capital loans are repayable on demand. Okay, means whenever the bank wants, you have to pay. In case you do not pay, they can lock up the factory and take the asset. That's all. So there is no question of rescheduling. But for term loan, which is payable over a long term, there is a possibility for reschedulement. Where there is partial release of the charge on a particular asset or property. See, these are all very complicated. The banks do it. See, for example, a person has given 3 properties as collateral. A company has given 3 properties as collateral. Now, those 3 properties together are worth, about say 20, the difference between the loan amount and these 3 properties is about, means the loan taken is only 50% of the value of these three properties. Okay, put together, what is the value? 50% only I borrowed. Now, one property is there which I'm saying I want to sell and realize the cash, but it's offered as security. Now I go to the bank and say, look here, Baba, I am also becoming NPA. I have to pay you. If I sell this asset, then my factory, land and building will be safe. I will also repay your loan and I will live my life peacefully without loan. I will manage on my own. This is called debt restructuring. Okay, financial planning in case of sick companies. But for that, I have to sell this property. How to sell this property? It is with you. Therefore, please release this. So we have to give a formal letter. It will go all the way up to sometimes MD or sometimes ED, and it will get approved and it will come back. The branch manager will then send a letter releasing the charge. But that becomes a modification. So that one property alone will be released from a charge and you can sell it. Whatever amount you realize, you do. What these fellows will tell, the bank will tell, we will not release. We will come and sell it ourselves and take it. No, please don't do that. I will take it. All that you have to manage. So finally, if you are honest, what you will do, after selling the asset, you will pay the bank loan and settle the bank. Then the balance property also will come back to you. You can now go debt-free company like that. So these are all called restructuring. Okay, sort of. I think all this, later on, if you people, some of you are aspiring to become business consultants, advisors, etc., CFOs of large companies. If these are your dreams, then every one of these points you are learning now will become relevant. So you should have a broad idea of what it is we are talking about. Charge on assets means like reduction. No. You. My friend Mr. Vedantwara. Yeah, that's why I said if you have understood this, you have understood anything. Sir, don't confuse the word charge, meaning expense. Like, for example, charge on profit like that. Depreciation is a charge against assets. No. That is depreciation. This is where assets are offered as security. A charge is created. So charge is a kind of a right of the lender to sell the property in case the loan is not repaid. Have you understood, Vedanji? It is not reduction in the value. That is depreciation, Baba. That is called depreciation. Depreciation is a charge on the P and in the P and L. It is a charge. Okay. See, unfortunate English. English, the word charge is used in both the places. That is why you remember I told you, if you have understood this, then everything else will be easy. If you have not understood that first slide, as you seem to have misunderstood, then everything will be confusing for you. So this charge is not a reduction in the value of asset. This charge is a kind of a right of the creditor to sell the asset. Means the lender to sell the asset in case the loan is not repaid. Somebody, please confirm that you have understood. Paribaso, I have explained it many times, Priyanka ji. How many times I should explain? See, two lenders are lending on the same asset. Now, for example, the asset value is 5 crore. I am lending 3 crore. Another creditor is lending 2 crore. Now, if I am the first lender, normally, first the asset will be sold. Whatever realized up to 3 crore, I will take. Balance, if any, 2 crore or whatever, he will take. This is called first charge, second charge. Have you understood? Now, suppose the arrangement is such that when the second guy comes, he insists, I will not take second charge. I want pari pasu charge. Then the first fellow should agree that in case the asset is not sufficient to pay, then we will share the proceeds in 3:2 ratio, pari pasu, proportionately, we will share. You have understood? We will share it. Okay? We will share the value. This is called pari pasu charge. So when the first charge holder is ceding it, when the pari pasu charge holder is ceding, he is losing a valuable right. He is becoming a second charge holder. For example, in case the asset is worth 5 crore at the time of lending, subsequently asset value drops. But they have lent how much? 5 crore. Now the asset value is only 3 crore. So one fellow is given 3, other fellow is given 2. Pari pasu charge. Now it is worth only 3 crore. How much will he get? In 3 crore. $1.2 and 2.4. Am I coming to 1.2 and 1.8? Am I correct? So whatever it is, it will be in the ratio of 3:2. Okay. So that is how it is. ED is not enforcement director, executive director. ED. MD managing director, ED executive director. In the banks, some people have powers. Up to certain amount, MD only can give sanction. Up to certain amount, executive director himself can give. Yeah. Good. So up to now, I shall presume that it is there. Yeah, 1.8 is to 1. So long as you understood proportionate, I'm happy. That's all. Okay. Good. I'm happy, because I was very worried about this topic. Already there are people like Abdul who are usually confused and asking questions. How to make them understand? Luckily, my good friend Abdul seems to be less asking questions in this, asking less number of questions today than normal. Maybe slowly he started to understand the subject as against questioning the subject. Okay. Where a charge or modification is duly registered by the registrar, a certificate of registration. See what I am doing now. I am completely covering this topic. Then I am going to come to the important part of the topic, which is due dates or registration. So it will come. In case you in the institute material it is given in the order, then you might find you might be thinking I'm skipping it and running. I am not. I will be coming to it later. Where a charge or modification, from now on, these three fellows will be treated together. Charge, modification of charge, acquiring of any property subject to charge. In all cases, that event should be registered in accordance with the Act. When a charge or modification is duly registered by the registrar, a certificate of registration or modification shall be issued by the registrar. So very, very important certificate. For who? Not for the company. For the company only it's a compliance issue. For the creditor, it is a life issue. Because suppose this is not there, he will not have a security. His security is gone. Therefore, both the company, because of the compliance problem, if they don't comply, they'll be punishable. As well as the creditor also should be eager to register the charge and get that certificate of registration. It will be issued in form number CHG2. For modification, it is form number CHG3. I have given the section references just for information. No need to mug it up for your information. Now, the certificate issued by the registrar under Rule 6.1 and 6.2 shall be conclusive evidence that the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Act and the rules made thereunder as to registration or creation or modification of charge, as the case may be, have been complied with. Okay, have been complied with. Now, up to now you have understood, except you don't know one thing. You are blank on that. What is that, What is the due date for registering the charge? That is the only thing you don't know. Other than that, you know the whole cycle now. Charge is created, charge is modified, asset is acquired, subject to charge. Charge should be registered. Once it is registered, the registrar of company should issue a modification or registration certificate. Know that cycle you have known. Now, suppose this is not done. Suppose the company has not registered. What will happen? See the problem. No charge created by a company shall be taken into account by the liquidator or any other creditor unless it is duly registered and a certificate of registration of such a charge is given by the registrar. That is what they say. The charge will become void against the liquidator and other creditors of the company. But this shall not prejudice any contract or obligation for the repayment of the money secured by a charge. Unfortunate. This has to be explained in more detail. Okay, Vedant, to quickly answer your question, no. Paripasu means proportionately. Okay, it does not mean equal. It means equal in proportion. Pari pasu means equal in step. Means if I take 3, he will take 2. If I take 4, he will take like that. If I take 6, he will take 3 like that. Okay. This particular slide needs more explanation. Let me not try to explain it to you. Rather, let me give you an example. That will be easier. For example, the company has borrowed money from various people. For some people, it has given security of assets. They are called secured creditors. Banks, financial institutions, some money lenders, all of them have taken properties of the company. They have registered mortgages, etc., etc. They are secured creditors. Secured. Pari pasu, first charge, second charge, doesn't matter. Yeah. Whatever charge, they are holding a charge. Okay. There are other fellows like trade creditors, unsecured lenders, deposit holders, blah, blah, blah. All of them are called unsecured creditors. Now, the company has gone into liquidation. It is insolvent. It cannot pay all its debts. Right? Now, the liquidator has sold the assets. The security value has been realized and is keeping the money ready for them. Also, the other assets have been sold. Money is ready. Imagine a situation where the liquidator is totally prepared. Money in the bank. So he calls a meeting of all the creditors and tells them, Baba, I am going to pay you. I can't pay you fully. I'll pay. But in the meantime, kindly do me a favor. All the secured creditors come to my right. All the secured creditors, liquidator is telling, all the secured creditors, it's a big Kalyan Mandapam he has hired. So a lot of space there. All these fellows are sitting. He's telling all the secured creditors come to my right. My right. All the unsecured fellows go to my left. Form a queue. Now 2 queues will be formed. Which queue will be longer queue? Logic will tell you that unsecured creditor will be longer queue. Secured will be shorter queue now. Representative of banks, one or two banks, financial institution, 1 or 2 more, money lenders will be standing there. That's all. All of them will be having their mortgage and all ready to show to the liquidator, etc., etc. Unsecured queue will be huge. It will be running even outside the Kalyan Mandapam, no problem. Now, liquidator now say, first secured creditors come. Your security value is realized, I will pay you. Come show me your security, take it. So the secured creditors walk. Each fellow goes there. In the meantime, one creditor comes rushing in. He says, I'm sorry, I came late. Oh, it's okay, no problem. We have not finished. Tell us what you want. The liquidator says, you go ahead, what you want. No, I am a secured creditor. Kindly, I want to join the secured creditor line. So at that point in time, the liquidator says, hello, I will not deny you the opportunity. But before that, show me proof. So immediately the secured creditor takes out the mortgage deed, which is registered. The liquidator goes through it. This is mortgage deed. Thank you. Correct. I'm very happy about it. But how about registration of charge under the Companies Act? Have you registered? Is this charge registered under the Companies Act 2013? What? Yeah. Registered under the Companies Act. Nobody told me about this. Like that fellow is thinking. Then immediately the liquidator and the other creditors will laugh at him. And what they will say? Baba, you are not a secured creditor. You join the other queue. You join the longer queue. Your money is there. We will give you. But security is not there. No, then when I will get? I don't know. These secured fellows will take and go. If anything is left over, I'll put it in this bundle. Then I will see how many of you are there. I will distribute it accordingly, proportionately, pro rata, I will give it. Like that they, okay, my God, like that he will faint and fall, maybe have a heart attack. In other words, if the charge is not registered under the Companies Act, then the charge will become void against the liquidator and other creditors of the company. Have you understood this point? This story is told to you to make you understand. As far as the liquidator is concerned and the other creditor is concerned, this fellow is not a secured creditor because his charge is become void. Why? Though it is, see, he has registered the mortgage, etc. He can go to court. He can try his legal remedies. But he cannot enforce his security. He cannot directly come and take his security and sell it and take the money. This is a very serious problem for the secured creditor. That is why the secured creditor whose charge is not registered loses his security and is reduced to the level of an unsecured creditor. See, the company cannot dispute the debt because they have borrowed, but the creditor cannot enforce his security. He can only file a suit or join the long queue of unsecured creditors. Now you will understand what is that long queue I am talking about. Unsecured creditors. So the real sufferer is the charge holder. Now, so we are supposed to protect the creditor, right? So the company law should also protect him in some way. So what is the remedy available to the charge holder? The law says, look here, where the company fails to register the charge may be registered by the charge holder. Where the company fails to register the charge may be registered by the charge holder. If so, obviously he will be spending money, na? If so, such charge holder shall be entitled to recover from the company the amount of any fees or additional fees or ad valorem fees that he has paid by him to the registrar for the purpose of registration of the charge. So whatever, including suppose he's hired a company secretary to do it, the fees payable paid to the company secretary, everything he can get it recovered from the company, right? Usually the charge holder will be a bank. So what they will do is, the lender will be the bank, he will be the charge holder. Now what they will do, they won't even allow the company to do it. They will simply call the company secretary and tell him, are you going to register? Yes or no? We'll do it, sir. They'll wait for 10 days. If he has not registered, they will hire their panel company secretary to go to the company, take the documents, go to the registrar and register on their behalf. That's all. And that condition will be put in the loan document. They will say, if you do not register, I will register. Even though statutorily that right is available to the lender. And whatever money they have spent, they will debit the account and go. That is the advantage of a banker. Straight away, they'll debit the account and adjust it and go. Okay. Usually, large corporates will never do this. They will register the charge. They will have a separate secretarial department. In that secretarial department, 2 people will be only handling charges. They charge only registering charges, following up, modification. Large corporates. Small SME companies and even small public companies and medium-sized public companies, they usually rely on chartered accountants like us, practicing chartered accountants or practicing company secretaries more than us for registration of charges and all. We support them in that. Okay. Now, please note, failure to register charge shall not absolve a company from its liability in respect of any offense under this chapter. Merely because creditor is suffering doesn't mean company need not suffer. Company will have to pay penalty. It will suffer the penal consequences. Okay. So this is the point I am trying to tell. Now, we have come to one very, very important and possibly crucial point in our discussion, which is consequence of non-registration of charge. At this stage, I will open up my questions. Now you can ask questions. Up to now. If you have any questions, I will answer. See, you notice now I'm giving you time to ask questions. I'm only staggering that point instead of continuously answering you. So you should be intelligent enough when a question comes to your mind to write it down. Likhna chahiye, likhna on a paper. Kagas mein likhna chahiye. You have to write it down on a paper and keep it ready. So that when I'm giving you the time, you have to type it into the query pad. You know what I mean? Writing. You understand? You have to write. What is the meaning of ad valorem fees? I will come to that a little. See, next time immediately I will talk to you about ad valorem. Ad valorem means based on value. Based on value. For example, GST is ad valorem. Whatever may be the transaction, 18%. Based on the value of the transaction, if you are charging a tax or a charge or a fee, it is called ad valorem. Ad or ad valorem. It depends on how you pronounce it. Some people say ad valorem. Maybe that is the correct way. Ad valorem. In Latin, based on value. Ad valorem. Based on value. We'll come to that. Anyway, I'll be teaching more about ad valorem a little later. See, that it's coming here because That is one of the amounts he may pay later. So they are including here. When we come to application for registration, we will talk about ad valorem also. If the charge is not registered, then the priority or proportion to that asset will be lost. And he will get the leftover amount of asset. No. That will be not the entire value, Baba. See, imagine, proportionately they will get. Here, whatever is due to him, he will get from that asset. There, I was just joking. See, if anything is left over after paying secured creditors, that small amount will be pooled here. This, imagine, suppose there are 500, total amount due to unsecured creditor, 5 crore. Total amount due to unsecured creditor, 5 crore. Our fellow 2 crore. Now total 7 crore. Amount available after secured creditors, amount also come and joined here is only 1 crore. Now how will pay? Total 7 crore. Available only 1 crore. So each person will get 1 by 7. 1 by 7 he will get. For every 1 rupee, you will get 1 by 7. That is all you will get. This fellow will also get. This fellow also get only 1 by 7. You understand? That is how unsecured creditors will be paid. So, acquisition of... So what I meant was join the unsecured creditor means almost 3 vertical lines go and stand there. Nothing will come. Because by that... Usually insolvent company, nothing will be there. Secured assets are sold, the secured creditors will take it and go. Now, after that, nothing will be left. Stock will be gone. Debtors will be uncollectible. It's a badly run company now. Nothing. Better to write off the loss and run. That's all. What else? Acquisition of property by company having charge. The registrar issues certificate in. No. See, please understand. This is for modification. This is for registration. So it will be in CHG 2 only. See, it's a fresh registration. Now, when you are acquiring any property subject to charge, a new charge should be registered by the acquiring company. Such a new charge will be given in form number CHG 2 to answer your question. Okay. Good. So moving on. This diagram is very important. 78 is very important. Which is why some of you might be angry with me because I moved from 77 to 79. Some of you must be very irritated. Now, you people are so used to that linearity, right? You don't like non-linear, huh? You like only linear. It's not possible. Company law cannot be taught linearly. It has to be taught non-linearly. Am I correct? So, non-linear storytelling by Quentin Tarantino. Like that, we have to tell non-linearly. We have to tell. Okay. So, but if you watch Tarantino, Pulp Fiction, it is a non-linear story. You will get confused. Till the end only you will understand. But my non-linearity, the way I am making it non-linear is meant to help you to understand. So that the flow will be logical flow. Whereas the company law provisions are really non-linear. They are not following the logical flow. Simply sections are there. And if you study in the section order, you will not understand why it's like this, why it's like that. That is why I am trying to put it in logical order, so that you will understand. Okay. Right. Company must register charge. If company fails to do so within 30 days, the charge holder may apply to the creditor, to the registrar. The charge holder may apply to the registrar. Next, the registrar shall give a notice to the company because the company's asset, they are giving information about charge. So the company has the right to know about it. So the registrar shall give a notice to the company. Then the company has the right to give objection. If it is a regular charge and it has been created by the company, then jolly well they cannot give any objection. They have to keep their mouth shut. There's no objection. Even if they don't do anything, if no objection is received, then the registrar will register within a period of 14 days after giving notice to the company. Okay. So the charge holder, in case the company fails to do so within 30 days, the charge holder may apply to the registrar. Right? Now, so company should register it within 30 days. If they do not do it, then the charge holder may apply. No objection is given. Suppose objection is received. If company itself registers or sufficient cause is shown why such charge should not be registered is provided. Maybe they feel that the bank is giving wrong information about the charge, etc., etc. Then they may object. Then the registrar shall not allow the registration. But this limb, I'll assure you, is rare. This limb is rare. It is only a sort of a escape provision for in case of genuine fraud by a bank or by a lender, not a bank, lender, who's trying to give wrong information and getting the charge registered, etc. something. So maybe forgery and all. That's why this company is given a protection here. Blindly, the registrar will not register. He will give notice to the company. If the company strongly objects, then sufficient cause is shown why the charge should not register. Or the company may say, Baba, we will register it ourselves. So allow us to do it. Then registrar shall not allow registration. So this is 99.9% case, it will be only here. The redder will send, no objection. Then in fact, most times ROC will not send a NOC because the charge, the company also will sign now. Why should I get no NOC? You yourself signed. It's only when that is not done, they will ask. So they're given a protection, but most of the time, the bank will insist that the company should sign and digital signature will be placed and the company secretary of the bank will upload it and registration done. Okay, within 14 days. Very important. Very, very important. Charge created before 2/11/2018. This was sort of a provision meant for these provisions came into existence at that time. Therefore, charge created before 2/11/2018. All the old charges created before 2/11/2018, which have not been registered under the old act, should register the charge within 30 days of creation. Okay. 2018, before it was registered, then it should be registered, register the charge within 30 days of creation. If not, it should be registered in 30. If not registered in 30 days, then you register within 300 days of creation on payment of additional fees. That fees is defined in the fee schedule. No need to know what it is. If not registered in 300 days, then register within 6 months from 2/11/2018. That is, this is 300 days from date of creation of charge. That also gone. So old charge not registered. They are giving a chance. If it was created before 2/11, one time they gave a chance. They said, come and register it now. Go through the process. Make it clean. We'll give you up to 300 days from date of creation of charge. Oh, your charge is still belated. Then register within 6 months from 2/11/2018, which is the date on which this amendment came, but with additional fees. And there will be different fees for different classes of companies prescribed, but this was a one-time opportunity for old charges not registered, created before 2/11/2018 to be registered. So this is Purana wala hai, not relevant. What is relevant is currently. This is what you have to remember. Currently, any charge which is now created will be created on or after 2/11/2018. So if you are writing the exam in 2023, then you are not bothered about what happened before 2018. So don't bother. If you still want to break your head and ask questions in this area, welcome. I will also answer. Okay. But this is relevant for you. Charge created on or after 2/11/2018. You have to register the charge within 30 days of creation. That is the standard time. Within 30 days of creation. You are not registered, sleeping, no problem. You have to register it in the next 30 days. That is why they are giving the creditor an opportunity. Once the 30 days is over, the statutory period is over. Now still you have another 60 days, another 30 days. Means total 60 days of creation. You can file with additional fees. So the creditor himself can do it in that extra 30 days. And in case you don't do that also, the next 30 days also, then you can register within a further period of 60 days, meaning 60 plus 60, 120 days. But here you cannot pay. See, usually the fees payable to the registrar of companies is based on the authorized capital. So based on the slab rate, whatever is your authorized capital, you will pay a fixed amount, like say 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees per lakh, etc., etc. Okay. That is not ad valorem. That is based on fixed capital. Whereas the minute you cross 30 plus 30, 60 days, still you have another 60 days to register. But that 60 days, if you want to register, the fee will be based on a percentage of the value of the charge. That is called ad valorem. I answered it there. Now I'm again explaining. It will not be a fixed amount, 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees like that. No, it will be a ad valorem fee, where it will be based on a percentage of the value of the charge. So if you're creating a mortgage for 3 crore, you will pay 2%, whatever it is, percentage on that, which is huge. If the bank is doing it, then they may pay that ad valorem fees, the creditor. So that ad valorem or additional fee can also be collected by him. Any fees or additional fees or ad valorem fees paid by him. Okay. So this is possibly the core and crux of this topic, which has to be understood by all of you. So before I go into the next point, again I am opening up, because this is one area where there could be some doubts and all that. So finally, my friend Aslam is coming in with his capitalization, and now I look forward to capital letters in my notepad, very bad. Somehow Aslam doesn't understand that I don't like caps. When entire caps, if somebody puts in the query pad, no, it irritates me. He doesn't understand that. It's not a good idea. Why he is persisting in this behavior, I don't know. Because again and again, I'm telling you, full caps in those days meant you are angry or you are upset. That's what it means. Don't use full caps. Okay. If you are thinking that by putting full caps, you are getting more attention, you are wrong. You are only irritating the person. Don't do that. You understand? In fact, if you overdo capitalization, you will lose it. You will lose the benefit. See, in those days, when I used to write the exam, I used to capitalize. You know where? One word. For example, what is the procedure for registration of a charge under the Companies Act 2013? Or what are the time limits for registration of charge under the Companies Act 2013? Then, with respect to don't write about this. Please do not waste time on this. Concentrate only on this. All charges created on or after 2/11/2018 shall be registered by the company within 30 days of creation. There, when I'm writing 30 days, I may put it in figures. I mean, in words. And I will put capital, THIRTY in caps. Only that one word I will put it in capital, or 30 days, 2 words I'll put it in capital. Thereby, the examiner's eye will be attracted to that and say, 30 days, correct. Then next one I'll write. In case this charge is not registered within 30 days, it shall be registered within the next 30 days. That is within 60 days of creation. There I will write 30 days cap, 60 days cap. That's all. Everything if I put in caps, the exam will get irritated. Don't do that. Finally, register within a period of further 60 days with ad valorem fees. So that is it. Okay, when you do that, you will attract the attention of the examiner, and he will give you more, because he is looking for these words, whether you know 30, 60 ad valorem. That's all. Mark given. Straight away, you'll score and go. Okay. So if you have any more questions, I'm ready to answer on this part, especially here. Good. Pranav Vasishta says, no doubt. Yeah, actually, if you are able to understand the fundamental principles, this is a very simple topic. It's a very simple topic. I was taught by my guru, the great Professor K.S. Anantaraman, this topic. You are all missing. My regrets that, my guru cannot come back alive to, be here. In fact, the other day, when I was talking to teach again, I was talking to somebody who was very close to me, and I was, in my usual style, I was telling, if 100 people can be sacrificed, in those days, these Bairagis and, these Pashaks, they will go there and they'll give Narabali. That you remember Vikramaditya story, 100 people. Then finally, I cut my own neck. If I do that and my guru will come back to life, I will do it. If I sacrifice 9-10 people and finally Srikanth also cut his neck, and if by doing that my guru can come back to life, I will do it. This is, I'm not telling casually, I'm not telling to as to waste your time, but to understand that such a great man. If only my guru can come back, I will do it. Such a great man. But he used to teach, and I used to remember his teachings. And this is a topic that was his favorite. And he used to teach us very beautifully. And in fact, the way I am explaining this topic, even 1/4 of his greatness, I am not able to communicate to you in the way I am explaining this topic. Okay. But to my best, I am doing to help you to understand it. Now the time is 7:30, and I'm sure all of us are tired. Even I am tired. So I will ask you to give us a break. Shall we have a 10 minutes break? Then we'll again start the topic. Shall I? So welcome back from your well-deserved break. And in this context, I thought that I will answer Mr. Abdul's question. It's a very lengthy question. He has written so much. Basic point he is asking is very simple. Whether dividend is paid on calls in advance or not. That's all. Instead of giving elaborate example, you could ask simple question, I would have understood. See, the amount is not called up. In the meantime, the fellow is paying it in advance. It's called calls in advance. Whether calls in advance dividend can be paid? No. It can be paid only if there is a provision in the Articles of Association. If there is a provision in the Articles of Association for payment of dividend on calls in advance, then the company should pay to that person on the calls in advance. But if there is no provision, then they need not pay. This is the answer to the question. So whether he will get dividend or he will proportionate. No, everybody will get in proportion. He will also get in proportion if there is no provision in the articles. If there is a provision in the articles, then he will get full. For that, because he's paid advance now, for that also he will get. That is the answer I have to give. So this is simple. And it was actually covered by me when I was teaching share capital and debentures. I spoke about calls in advance. Okay. For the record, Muhammad Aslam wants me to inform you that today is the last date for exam form with fine. So in case you have not uploaded it, you may have to do it. So that is how it is. Now, Dhyanish is asking a question. If company registered charge after notice given by registrar. Now, in this entire framework that I have taught you, I am not able to see any notice. Oh, you mean this notice? Okay. No, this is different. This is not notice to the company to file the charge. The charge holder is sending the charge for registration within 60 days. Within the next 30 days, the charge holder is sending it. So that has been complied with. Okay. Then maybe the company has also made an application. That can also be registered. So that way, see, I told you that this part of it is going to be very, very rare. If the company doesn't do it, the charge holder sends it, the company will keep it more shut and it will be registered. That's all. Okay. Rarely the company. But what you should really understand is it doesn't matter whether notice is given, notice is given. The dates are very, very important, sir. Days are very, very, very important. 30 days. Then another 30 days. Total 60 days. 30 days, only normal fee. Another 30 days, additional fees. Further 60 days, ad valorem fees. That's all. Whether notice is given by registrar, not given by registrar, if the company does not file it within this duration, then there is a penalty. Whether you like it or not, you have to pay it. Okay. It is a non-compliance. Okay. Notice gate is not. And notice will also be given well within time only. Because the charge holder will do it within the next 30 days. So within the next 30 days, the registrar should make you notice that. Thereafter, if after the notice of registrar, they file after, let's say, 1 year, it is not non-compliance. So notice of registrar has nothing to do with this. The duration is automatic. You have to keep track. 30, 30, 60. Got it? Within that time, you have to file it. If you do not file it, that's it. The charge is not valid. Unless you do something else. You can go to there's one more provision where you can get it reinstated. But as of now, if 120 days over, 60, 30, 30, 60, over, nobody has done anything, neither the charge holder nor the company has registered, then company will be liable to penalty. Charge holder, you know what it is. He loses security. So that is he cannot thereafter, you cannot go and say, Zar, please, Zar, like that. No, nothing. The law is strict. Why? Because I told you now, we can only protect intelligent people, fast people, lazy people, buddhus, we cannot protect. We are meant to protect fast. So between two creditors who are there, one is smart. He is registering the charge or forcing the company to register charge. He is smarter. He will get better security. Buddhu who is sitting at home not doing anything, 120 days over, lost. That's all. Law will not protect the fools. Always remember that. A law that protects the fools will only result in a foolish country. Okay. Law should protect only intelligent people who obey the law. Okay. Any law that protects the fools who disobey, and whenever they disobey, we give them chance, we will create a nation of fools. That's all. Nation of non-compliance. Yes, after 30, 60, not non-compliance straight away. See, after 30, you can still file with additional fees. After another 30, you can still file with ad valorem fees. There again, there's a penalty, Baba. Additional fee is there. Then ad valorem is there. You're still keeping quiet, doing nothing, looking at the sky. Then, gone, you are punishable. But the real problem is not for the company, Baba. It is a penalty, etc., etc. The charge holder loses his security. That is what you should appreciate. So, the banker will be running after the company. Believe me, if you are the CFO of the company and you have borrowed 20 crore from State Bank of India and you are not registered, Baba, he'll be calling and firing you. The AGM will be calling and firing. AGM means an assistant general manager, or he'll be calling you and firing you. What, sir? What are you doing? You are not registered charge. Already 15 days over. When are you going to do it? Tell me. Like that, he'll be shouting. And that loan officer will be coming to your office and sitting. Okay. They will bring the company secretary also. So they will be more concerned about registering than you. Are you able to understand? Then they will appoint a company secretary who will come and pester you. They will be more concerned. If it's a bank, other than banks, some NBFCs also, they will do it. Everybody is smart. So it's a double, you are learning a 2-point point. One is qua the company, what is the procedure? Remember, you could be a senior officer, loan officer in a bank. You could be a credit officer in a bank. And you are lent to a company. Under your recommendation, it has been lent. You have signed all the documents. The charge is not registered. Baba, you lose your job, yeah? Because the banker will simply come and say, your boss, your employers will simply say, look here, you are a chartered accountant. You knew the law. In those days, Srikanth taught you about registration of charge. You know that we as the creditor can go and register. Why you have not registered? Straight away, they'll take action against that employee for negligence. Okay? So it's all very, very dangerous. Don't even take sort of assumptions and presumptions. Don't have arguments and all. 30 days, 60 days. That's all. You do it well in time. Comply with the law. Okay, non-compliance, the penalty is tremendous for the creditor. So please, if you are the banker lending, don't waste your time arguing. Go get a company secretary, pay him some fees, get it registered within 30 days. If not 60 days. 30 days you give to the company, not done. Within the next 60 days, you send it. Ask the company also to sign. Then there is no need for no objection also. Registrar will simply register. Aramse, everybody enjoys. Why you additional fee? You collect it from the company and go. When life can become simple, Baba, why are we making it complicated? Na? And then arguing. Huh? After 30, boss, where are you when I am teaching? Are you listening? 30 days, no fees. It's all clearly given here. Another 30 days additional. Only ad valorem. For that next 30 additional. Beyond that, ad valorem. What happens? It's an ad valorem fees, ma. It won't be these 30, 60 and all gone. Straight away as a percentage of the value it will go. This will be nothing compared to that. It will be straight away on value, which will be huge amount. That itself will be a penalty for you. Huge amount you will have to pay. Think about it. Okay. So your question itself may be reviewed differently, Mr. Abdul. Additional and ad valorem, it's ad valorem fee, which will be based on value. Are you able to understand? First, this is nothing, Baba. It will be 500,000, maximum 5,000. That is okay. Plus, that ad valorem will be huge. Okay. Ad valorem from that, okay, to answer your question, which is as usual, you want clarity. From that 61st day onwards, if you are delaying, then you will be charged for 30 days, no fees. Next 30 days, additional fees, plus the original fee payable for the charge. Then, ad valorem fees on the value. But if still after 120 days you have not filed it, then even paying ad valorem fee, you cannot register. Even if you pay ad valorem fee, you cannot register after 120 days. I hope I'm making myself very clear, because there is no way you can escape this. This is a very serious provision. Unless you understand, I'm instilling in it into you, because you will study in intermediate and forget this. Then you will finish final and go. Then suddenly I studied in those days, I don't remember, like that, you will think. It's not like that. In case you are employed in a bank, The bank will send you for special training on this topic. Who will conduct the class? Company secretary or me will come and conduct. I have done similar workshops for banks along with a group of company secretaries. Since I'm also a company secretary, they invited me, and I delivered on this topic along with the group, the various bank managers on this topic. So there they will give practical cases. We can't simply teach and go. I have to answer those there. Like Abdul, there will be 15 Abdul sitting there asking all sorts of questions. Okay, she's giving you in dates and all. Charge created 1st January. Making application by charge holder after 45 days, meaning 30, then 45. And to escape from additional charge, he and company changed the date, charged the date and file application within new date, and ROC got note to it. Anyhow, what is the... See, if they are changing the documentation, who is the loser, you tell me. If they want to change it, no problem. If they will spend, for example, see, you are thinking it's so easy to change the date. See, the whole, your whole question, PSG, is starting on this one point. The charge holder and company changed the charged date, date of creation of charge. Date of creation of charge. Be a little more elaborate in your wordings. Because if you write charged date in the exam, no, the examiner may not give you marks. I may excuse you and leave you. What is that? I'm a teacher. But the examiner, if you write charged date, he may not agree. So here is clearly then a date of creation of charge. Okay. So if you do that, if they collude and do it, no, nothing, no problem. Everything you have to. Suppose it's a mortgage, you already registered the mortgage with the sub-registrar. What you will do? You tell me. Now you tell me what you will do. It is a mortgage. You registered with the mortgage, with the sub-registrar. Now what you will do? You will go back to the sub-registrar and change the rate. Again, you pay the stamp duty. Once you've registered it, that is the rate of creation of the charge. Once you've registered the mortgage, that is the date of creation of the charge. Thereafter, you cannot play games. So only loan agreement which is not registrable, such things you can try to play this game, where you can redocument it and then try to do it. I have seen it done once or twice. It needs absolute cooperation of both the customer and the charge holder, which is very rare. Very hypothetical case. You can do that. And what is ROC's problem? He will see everything will be uploaded. He will see all the documents. Everything is correct. Charge holders. If the charge holder himself is happy, what is my problem? He will say, sign it and give the charge and go. That is not a problem. But this, your whole assumption that you can change the date of creation of charge, that is not practical. Once you come into real life where you are actually earning money by, in a finance job, then you will understand why your question is very, very impractical question. Then only you know, say, oh my God, Srikanth told at that time, like that as a student, I ask question like this unknowingly, like that you think. What are the remedies available with the creditor if company raises an objection? Hire a lawyer, take him there, fight. That's all. Prove your case. Take a company secretary, prove your case. Finally, decision is registrar. Okay, prove your case. Go with the company secretary, go with the lawyer, fall at the feet, give representation, give facts, proof, give proof. If sufficient cause, he is giving sufficient cause. No, you refute it. You understand? You refute it. You will be given that opportunity. Registrar will call you. What is this? He is telling like this. You refute it. You provide facts. It will be letter after letter will be filed. Ideally, don't do it on your own. Hire a company secretary to do it for you. That's all. And then ROC will not take that call. He will again send it to RD. Go to RD. Then RD will see it. It will be super tamasha. If this is happening, it's a complication. It's a super tamasha complication. The remedies and all, you can go. Okay, that's all. If the registrar does not register, he refuses to, you have given all the proofs properly. In spite of that, the registrar does not register the charge, and you are the charge holder. Company has raised an objection which is frivolous. The registrar is accepting and not registering the charge. Then there is no appellate remedy for you. There is no appeal. You can't go on appeal against the decision of the registrar. But you can go on a writ to the jurisdictional high court, where you can pray that a writ of mandamus be issued, directing the registrar to register the charge. Okay. But by then, 300 days, 120 days should not be over. Be careful about that. Okay. Anyway, you have filed it now, so that is not a problem. See, date of filing is more important. The date on which you filed the documents is more important. That is within this time, then no problem. You fight this matter, go to court, etc., and come back. Okay. That's all. It will be fun, super fun. You are creating enough work for company secretaries, chartered accountants, advocates for another 6 years. Enough fun. We can earn money out of this thing. So that's all. Beautiful case. Okay, good. Now, any subsequent registration of a charge shall not prejudice any right acquired in respect of any property before the charge is actually registered. Oh, what does this mean? You might read it in the institute material. See how I have used capitals. This is how capital letters should be used. Not completely, but to highlight a point. Any subsequent registration of a charge shall not prejudice any right in respect of any property, any right acquired in respect of any property before the charge is actually registered. Think about it. I'm giving a story here. If you understand the story, you will understand the example, then you will understand this point also. Instead of telling it, I'm showing it on the screen. Bank A has advanced rupees 1 crore to Akash Limited against the security of the company's land and building at Mulund. No problem. Bank A. The charge was created by deposit of title deeds on 1st June 2019. So date of creation of charge 1st June 2019. So 30 days, 60 days, another 60 days. Company did not register the charge within 30 days. Subsequently, the charge was registered on 13th August 2019 after payment of ad valorem fees and proving sufficient costs. Okay, sir? Even ad valorem fee, they will not give unless you prove sufficient costs. You cannot simply pay ad valorem fees. The ROC will say, why you got delayed so much? You have to give sufficient. For example, pandemic, they extended. During pandemic period, they extended like anything. They allowed you time. So that was different. During pandemic period was different. Or, for example, you can give valid reason like, I am living in Nepal. During that time, no, Nepal is out of India, sorry. I am living in Uttarakhand, Joshimath, near Joshimath, Uttarakhand mein hai. So all that landslide and all happened at that time only. Therefore, we could not file. Now we are filing, please. Like that, you have to give some valid reason. Otherwise, he will say, he can refuse technically, but they don't normally refuse. So here the charge has been registered on 13th August 2019. That is July, 30 days. June, 1st June to 30th June, 30 days. 1st July to 30th July, whatever, 31st July. And if you count days, it will be 30, nearing that, yeah, don't worry. If you want to count, you count. 1st June, you leave, then you count 30, you'll get to 1st of July, that will be 30 days. Then you start 2nd of July, then you'll count 31st of July. So that will be another 30 days. Gone. July gone. Now, August. Now you got another 60 days to go. In that period, on 13th August 2019, after payment of ad valorem fees, they have filed. Chalo yaar. So technically, bank A's charge is registered. In the meantime, Bank B has advanced rupees 2 crore to Akash Limited against the security of the same property on 20th June 2019. Please note, 1st June, Bank A has given. Registered on 13th June. Bank B has given on 20th June after A, but the charge was registered on 27th June. Well within 30 days. Well within 30 days. They have registered. Nice. The banker was very fast. He came, caught the collar of these Akash Limited fellows, took the documents, chuck, he filed it and got it registered within 27th June. Our friend A Bank, when they got it registered, 13th June, 13th August. So who is early in terms of date of creation of charge? A is earlier to B. Listen to me. In terms of registration of charge, who is early? B is early. If you don't understand it, listen to me, then you won't have a doubt. In terms of creation of charge, A is early, B is late. But in terms of registration, B is early. Subsequent registration of a charge shall not prejudice any right acquired in respect of the property before the charge is, please note, actually registered. So here what has happened? A Limited, Bank A gave money. That is not valid. B gave money. B got the charge registered before. So A is subsequent registration. Samajh gaya na? Why I'm being emotional? You will have so many doubts. I want to be so clear on this. A is subsequent registration. B is prior registration. Therefore, subsequent registration by A shall not prejudice any right acquired in respect of any property by B before the charge is actually registered. So B acquired it on 27th June. He registered the charge. So his right was acquired on 27th June before Bank A's charge was actually registered. Have you understood this? Why I'm making it so elaborate? Because I know some of you will get irritated and get angry with me. Still, I'm doing it because then later on one person will come and ask, sir, I didn't understand, or please tell me again. That's why I'm telling now itself very clearly. Chalo. If everything goes well, Akash Limited is paying all the dues. Nobody is bothered here. What do you say? 1 crore with interest. Call Bank A, throw it at his face. Call Bank B, 2 crore with interest. Take it, get out. Kutte, get out. Then nobody can tell anything to them. But subsequently, what happens is with Akash? That Akash Limited goes into liquidation. Now, the entire property realizes only 2 crore. Kitna dena? They have given 1 plus 2, 3. Whereas how much is realizing? Only 2. Now what to do? Pro rata. Okay. Now Bank B will receive its loan back fully. If it's pari passu, pro rata. Here there is no mention about pari passu. Meaning, it's a first charge, second charge. Now, my dear friends, who is first charge, who is second charge? Technically, A was created first, but he will be second charge. B was created second, but he got it registered early. Therefore, he will be first charge. Now, Bank B will receive its loan back fully because it's owing only 2 crore now. But Bank A will not realize anything. 3 vertical lines. Why? Because the subsequent registration of the charge in favor of Bank A will not prejudice the right of Bank B, which obtained its right before the charge in favor of the Bank A was actually registered. Thus, Bank B gets priority over Bank A, even though its charge was created later. So what do I learn from this? Fundamental learnings. Creation of charge is not relevant. Registration of date of registration of charge is relevant. Whoever registers it early gets early. Late, late. So between the two, those whose charge registered early get priority. So when you do not register the charge, security is gone. When charge is registered very late, priority is also gone in favor of another charge holder who registers the charge earlier. So non-registration of charge within the due dates is very, very important. Instead of wasting our time on questions like, sir, what happens if I go beyond 30 days, 60 days, ad valorem? The intelligence side are going to say, the minute I create the charge, I have to register it. Don't wait for 30, 60 and all. 30 days now. It's quite a long time. It's not enough. As a responsible professional, can we not be responsible enough to file it within 30 days? I'm asking you this as a teacher. Okay? Whatever bullshit reasons we give now, 30 days, ma. Can you not employ a company secretary, give him all the documents, send him to the bank? He will do all the job for you. Pay him 5,000 rupees, 6,000, 10,000 rupees fees. He will do it for you. Within 30 days, register it, get the registration, keep it. That is how good companies are run. Only Ganda companies will do all nonsense and then argue, wasting time, going to lawyer, arguing, is it ad valorem, is it achar? Why all that for you? Be honest and honorable. Anyway, again we'll answer. If 120 days over, we can't register the charge. Yes, yes, yes. Sahi hai, absolutely correct. 120 days over. You put cloth on your head and go, that's all. Not only will you not get security, no, nothing. I told you, join the long queue. Join the long queue. Which part of this you don't understand, sir? Which part of it this you don't understand? I have clearly mentioned to you where so you cannot register the charge, period. 120 days limit. They have given you enough time. Why I am getting a little upset and I am talking like this? No, I am not able to understand why we are always interested in last date. Huh? Only on the last date I will think of doing something. Only when that's too late I will go and beg for time. Huh? That's not a good habit. Huh? As a human being itself, I am asking you. Forget this situation. Why wait? Because the due date is the last date. Many clients, in fact, most of my clients over the last 20 years, I have made them understand the need to come early with their accounts. I'm telling them, boss, due date for filing return fixed by Nirmala Sitharaman is not my date. I want earlier than that. You are my client. You have to go before that date. Like that. So they also agree, yes, we will do it. They come, we file before the date. Why on that last date, everybody should go clog the server, then no time. Then Association of Chartered Accountants will go and beg the finance minister, extend the date. Midnight, that lady will extend the date. What is happening here? Yeah? I'm not a very great fan of this type of behaviors. Time is there. In fact, this is not me. I am taking this from my grandfather, who used to do it. If a particular thing is to be done, he will do it well in time and he will never delay. Because once you do something well in time, you won't have a crisis and you can concentrate on the really important things in your life. Filing of charge, non-filing of charge, and then consequences, running after the registrar office, company secretary, that is a low productivity activity. Okay. Corporate structuring, thinking about the future plan strategy, that is high productivity activity. CFO should not be worried about this type of non-compliance issues. You should be more concerned about growth issues. So don't become a guy who creates problem and solves it. Become a guy who doesn't have problem at all. And your employers are so happy with you that they keep on paying you more and more money and you grow in your organization. This is the best thing I can do. Don't mistake me. I'm not trying to say you're not like that, but some of these questions are putting me into a little difficulty. I am teaching them the correct law. Then why are they always asking about violating the law? Bank B first registered charge within 30 days. Correct, sir. I appreciate your statement. I cannot question your statement. No. Please understand. Abdul, you are not understanding anything but asking questions. Why can't they register? The value of the property is more than this, he can register. It so happens that subsequently the property realized only 2 crores. I gave you another example now. At the time, see one more thing, registrar is not concerned about value of property. Please understand. If the lender is willing to give, the registrar is not bothered about value of property. Registrar will not check whether the value of the property is there. That is not the job of the registrar. If you say the charge is, if the creditor has given money and the company takes it and they have given, then it will register. So that is not the registrar's problem. I am not going to give any such assumption. I don't have to obey what you say. If you want to assume it, you assume it. That is not necessary also. If on a 2 crore worth property, 2 idiotic banks have given 3 crore, that is their problem, not mine. This problem is not about that. You are missing the point, Abdul. This is not about value of the property. This is about priority. If you have understood that point, it is enough. See how, why I am sometimes again and again telling you this to me, Abdul, you are always going into the unnecessary areas, whereas you are leaving the important part. The important part is understanding the statement. To understand the statement, if you want, you assume, whatever value you want to assume, anything more than 3 crores, you assume, what is that? Okay. That is not necessary. Even if I don't give it, you should appreciate, you should have enough, whatever it is, to accept that. Yeah, maybe the property is worth. Otherwise, will 2 banks give 3 crore if it is worth only 2 crore? Are they idiots? So they would have verified and found. At that time, valuation would have been given by some fellow valuer, registered valuer. That fellow would have given 6 crores. Based on that, they are giving. That is the bank's problem, Baba. Why we should bother? Okay. Got it? See, if your mind is clear, everything will be clear. If your mind is confused, everything will be confusing. So, clearing the mind is more important. Manaseva manushyanam bandha mokshaika karanam. Manaseva bhanushyanam bandha mokshaika karanam. It is your mind that releases you and frees you, or it makes you a bonded. It makes you a slave. It is the mind that makes you a slave of your own doubts, your own queries and all. Whereas a free mind doesn't have any big doubts. It is understanding the topic and going on with the understanding and writing the exam with full freedom of knowledge and clearing the exam. This is what you should learn. So more and more doubt, if you raise more and more doubt, you will go going deeper and deeper only. More and more understanding you get. More and more understanding you get, better and better your answer. This is the humble suggestion I make to brilliant people like you who are capable of asking questions, but I want you to be extremely good at answering questions. Chalo. So all charges registered with the registrar are public documents. Where any charge is you already told by Mr. Patsardi also, if you remember then. So doctrine of constructive notice will apply. Where any charge is registered under section 77, any person acquiring such property or part thereof or any share shall be deemed to have notice of the charge from the date of such registration. Please note, application for registration, there is no notice. It will not come in that. Only when it is registered. So if the application has been made by the creditor and it is not registered, still he will lose. You have to get that certificate of registration and keep it. And from that date, there is a public notice. It's a public document. Thus, every person proposing to deal with a company should verify whether the asset there is any charge by going through the record. I already told this to you. You are aware of it. You can't do it on your own. You hire a company secretary. These fellows are meant for that. Just hire one of those guys. They will go and do it. He'll give you a report. In case, if you are the CFO and you hire a company secretary, if something goes wrong, you are protecting your ass. You can always catch that fellow and file a professional negligence case against him and escape. So at least for that, you hire a company secretary. Okay. In case he enters into the transaction without making any inquiry and later suffers a loss because of charge, he cannot claim that loss from the company. Because why should the company? We already registered the earlier charge. You didn't go and see. Whose my problem is that? Your priority is lost. What can I do? Okay, like that. Any loss. But the company is liable to repay the amount. Non-registration does not mean the company need not pay. The company should jolly well pay. The security is lost. Priority is lost. That's all. Chalo. Now we come to the satisfaction of charge, which is the payment. Means entire amount is paid. Or some other asset is given and this asset is taken out. That is also satisfaction. In some way we are closing it. That is called satisfaction. Once a charge is satisfied, means paid or adjusted, or it should be, the company shall give intimation to the registrar in form number CHG4 within 30 days of the payment or satisfaction. If not intimated, the registrar may allow giving of intimation within 300 days on payment of additional fees. So 30 days, then another 300 days they give. Then registrar on receipt of intimation will send notice to the holder of the charge. Why? Because the company is intimating here. So they will send to the holder of the charge as to show cause within 14 days why payment should not be recorded. If, see, in most cases, the charge holder will also sign that document. So no need for NOC. But if no sign is there, then they will ask the charge holder. If the charge holder also having no objection, then that satisfaction will be registered. If cause is shown, then if no cause is shown, the registrar shall register the satisfaction or payment, issue a certificate of registration of satisfaction of charge in form CHG5. Whether these form numbers are important? Yes. How to remember? Take a piece of paper, isme likho. Just what is this? What is it? Then look at it for 15 minutes, close it and keep it. Then write it again from the memory. It will be in your mind. That's all. This is how I remember all things. Once I read thoroughly 15 minutes, concentrated reading, then I keep it. Then from my memory, I will write it. Then I will see what I have written and what is the actual. Then correct myself. Never I will forget it after that. Everything. Memory is easy. Just have to write it out. And then once you write, check. Then with a red ink, you mark the wrong things. Then you will never forget it. It will be there for you forever. Just try it out. If any cause is shown, the registrar shall record a note in the register of charges and shall inform the company. If cause is shown, means the charge holder says that the company has not paid in full, then he will not register. He will record a note about this and inform the company. That's after that the company has to go to what the company should do. Company will go to the creditor, file a dispute, Baba, please help me, like that. What will happen? No, they would have made payment based on their calculation. Whereas the bank would be demanding another 14 crore. This fellow will say, I'm not liable. Matter will be pending before DRT. In the meantime, this fellow will be pushing the charge satisfaction. So the bank will come and say, matter is pending in DRT, sir. We are not yet finalized. In the meantime, they have paid this amount as settlement by them. We are not agreeing to it. Like that, they will say. So they shall just record it and inform the company. Okay. No notice in case of intimation of the registrar is in form number CHG4 signed by the holder of the charge. So where the holder of the charge also signs CHG4, no need for intimation to the, no notice to the holder of the charge. No need to give notice to the holder of the charge. Because he also signed, now I give. Registrar can make entries with respect to satisfaction and release of charges even if no intimation has been received by him from the company. In case of any registered charge, if evidence is shown to the satisfaction of registrar that the debt has been satisfied in whole or in part, the part of the property or undertaking has been released from the charge or has ceased to form part of the company's property, then the registrar may enter the register of charges a memorandum of satisfaction to that effect. See what can happen now. Another company, you might sell the property and the bank may sign and they might pay off and they'll be satisfied and all, but they won't give satisfaction. No intimation has been received by the company. See, think like this. You are a company. You are acquiring a property from another company on which there is a charge. You have released that property. You have paid it to the bank. Bank has also given you confirmation. Now this company should close that charge now. Instead, they are keeping that charge open. So you will register the charge in your name. That is different. But that charge is also open now. It has been satisfied by you. Now you don't want that loose end. So you can go to the registrar and say, sir, we have already paid to the bank. This charge is not valid. It is satisfied. Then even without the company giving an intimation, on anybody can go and give the registrar that it has been satisfied. It will be closed. Then the registrar will enter charges, memorandum of satisfaction. That's all. To that. Why this will happen? Sometimes what will happen now? Many companies will be, as I told you, insolvent companies, good for nothing fellows. They will simply run. They won't bother about documentation. Then the newly acquired fellow, this property is in his name now. Unnecessarily, that will come as a black comment. They would have registered the charge in their name, but it will come as if there are two charges on this property. It will as if there are two charges on this property, which is stupid. Only one charge is there. Therefore, to set the record right, we have to do this. For that, they have given a facility in section 83. Samajh gaya? You understood? Okay, now. Whenever there is a satisfaction, the registrar shall inform the affected parties within 30 days of making the entry in the register of charges. Both the parties, means the charge holder and the company. In case the registrar enters a memorandum of satisfaction of charge. Memorandum of satisfaction means a noting in the register of charges that this charge has been registered. Then a copy of that memorandum of satisfaction only will be given to the registration of satisfaction. A certificate will be given in form number CHG5. That's called memorandum. Memorandum means noting. It will be just a noting of satisfaction. If any person obtains an order for the appointment of a receiver or a person to manage the property which is subject to a charge, or if any person appoints such receiver or person under any power contained, that notice of such appointment shall be given to the company and the registrar along with a copy of the order or instrument within 30 days from passing of the order or making of the appointment. This is meant for where there is a receiver appointed, then you have to inform the company. Not very important. We come to the last stage of this topic. Very funny, now we are going to almost complete the topic. It's a very simple topic, simple sections. So we are able to clear. Again, thanks to you all. You have not raised many controversial questions today, like Abdul's questions and all. Today, it's all intelligent questions which are based on either need for knowledge or clarity or issues which are good. Even Abdul's question on calls in advance was a good question. It was a question. The answer is there for them. Not impractical issues where what to do in this case, what to do in that case. Like that. For new charge, old need to be cancelled first. Correct. See, what has happened? This fellow, this company has got it now. They will expect that old company to go and do the work, right? That fellow has not done it. He has not registered. That is practical issue. He has not done it. What to do? But new charge is not registered in the hands of the old company. It is registered in the hands of the new company. That fellow is not doing the releasing. What to do? You are correct. Yes, it has to be released. He is not doing what he will do now. You understand? You are right. You are absolutely correct. Earlier charge should get correct. He is not doing it. What to do now? You tell. You are telling he is not doing. Now you go to the registrar and you do it. That power is given to you. Are you able to understand? That's a nice thing. Now they're giving you that power to go to the registrar and say, hey, look here. This fellow is not doing it, but charge has been satisfied. Please note it and vacate it. Like that. It's actually a good provision. The new law contains some intelligent points also. In addition to these stupidities, the new law has some good things also, because these good things are because of the earlier learnings that professionals like us have been telling them. Hey, this is a weakness, please put it in like that. They have included that. Now we go to penalty as usual. Penalty for default. Company, fine. Officer, fine. Or imprisonment up to 6 months. The amount of fine has been changed and the imprisonment has been removed. No more imprisonment. For non-filing of charge, no imprisonment, only fine. And the amount of fine has been changed. Okay, that's all. Well, I've given the changed number only. Okay. Yeah. Good. In case there is any omission in giving intimation to the registrar, or there is omission or misstatement, then central government can order rectification of register of charges. Means this is the final help. Yeah. You have not registered 30 days. You have not registered another 30. You have not registered another 60. There is an omission in giving intimation of the charge to the registrar. Then you go to the central government, the regional director, fall at his feet, give valid reasons that the default was accidental or due to inadvertence or because of some other sufficient cause, and that it did not prejudice the position of creditors or shareholders, then the central government will give an order. Then it will be coming to the registrar. Then the registrar will register the charge. But that date of registration will be the actual date of registration. It will not relate back to the date of creation. No. Which means this logic will still apply there. Subsequent, this will still apply. You are not registered 30 days, another 30 days, another 60, 120 days, kadam ho gaya. You are waiting, sleeping, 365 days later, 240 days later, you go to the central government and give some sufficient reason, whatever you are giving, you give. And he permits you to register. What will happen? Your charge will be registered. Your security will come. But the priority will not come. In the meantime, if another charge has already been registered, that fellow will get priority over you. That cannot be changed even by central government. Because the purpose of this section is not to give you any benefit, but some extreme cases to protect the creditor, they will allow. Central government will allow. And they will say, chalo, take it and run. But that doesn't mean that you will get priority. You will get security. That security is now available to you. But if any other charge has been already registered, I'm keeping on repeating, registered. Creation has nothing to do with this. Registered in the meantime. That fellow will get priority over you. You will come later, 240 days, then you go to register central government, another 3 months. By the time you come, it will be too late. Registrar will register. So the charge will be registered. Security will be there. But priority is gone. Okay. So the application in CHCT shall be filed by the company, the interested person, and rectification order shall be made. Also, you can also use this provision for any correction. When there is any error, you can correct it also. Any error in the original intimation, you cannot go to the registrar and say, hey, you know what, there's a small correction, please. No. You have to go to the central government, get an order, and then only it will be corrected. Because what is entered in the register cannot be changed by even the registrar, unless the central government directs them. So the application shall be filed by the company or any interested person, and the order of rectification shall be made by the CG on such terms and conditions. CG may, on application in form number CHT8, direct rectification of the omission or direct extension of the time for satisfaction of charge, etc., correction of error and all that. Yes, sir. In a way, today, we have completed the entire topic on registration of charges. Actually, time allotted is two sessions, means 2.5 plus 2.5, 5 hours. I have done it in 2.5 hours. Thanks to your cooperation, we have been able to do it. If you still have any doubts, you are welcome to ask me. And it's a nice topic. Go through it again in the light of my lecture. Thereafter, you need not study it at all. It's an easy topic. And once in 2 sessions, it will come. Question will come once in 2 sessions. So chances are, if it's already asked, they may not ask the same. But if it is not asked, they might ask. So I'm just giving you an idea. So check it out and see. And don't waste your time reading everything, Baba. It's a waste of time. How many, see, man talking to you, he was a student once, a very successful student. I am not just a teacher. I may be a bad teacher, but I was a very good student. So successful student. That student is talking to you and humbly requesting you. Don't keep on reading too much and wasting your time. Don't keep reading small things, trying to remember, wasting it. There are bigger things there, chunks that you should know. There you should not be weak. That's the point. I don't know what you mean by ask some questions that will boost our question. I don't know, but let us see. There are no questions on this. Maybe what I suggest now, in the light of my lecture, go to the practice manual. That is the best thing to do. Instead of reading the institute material again, now that I have taught this subject to you, it is equal to reading the institute material once. You have literally revised the institute material once along with me. So don't go back to that institute material and go like that. Now go to the practice manual. Practice manual has practical problems. Solve it. Or try to see how the solution is given or answer is given. That is all. You understand? You will learn the subject very fast. And what the examination expects you to write and all. Easy. Institute is giving you practice manual also. Use that. Okay. I'll tell you, most of us in those days did not go for coaching for law. We went on our own, we studied. Only K.S. Anthraman, I went later. When I was studying ACS, I went to him. Not because I didn't know the subject, but because I was a fan. I just used to go and sit and just to listen to him. And just be there in his presence, I will go and sit. And he also recognized me for what I was, and he will give me special treatment. He will give me special information, special knowledge, like that. I was his prime student, and he used to feed me extraordinary knowledge, like that. So, great. Anyway, that's because I was not asking questions and wasting his time. I will, whatever he gives, I will take it and use it and come back, like that. Chalo. Fantastic. I thank you for helping me to remember my Guru today on this day, which is not a Thursday. If it had been a Thursday, it would have been great, but it's a Friday. Nevertheless, it's great to remember my Guru because Shukra was also the Asura Guru, right? Both are Gurus only. So, yeah, Brahaspati was Deva Guru. Shukra was Asura Guru. So, both are Gurus only. Good job. Let us close for the day. Great. Wishing you all a great evening ahead. And looking forward to meeting you regularly on this coaching class. Thank you. Bye. Good night.